We're grateful to be here today on the Celebration Circle, and we want to welcome our guest, Malii Watts Witten, here to share with us about the Baha'i. And let me just meet you, and thanks for
Hi, good morning.
Thank you. We're so glad you're
here. Yes, good morning.
Thanks. And Chris Taylor, one of our favorite musicians, creatives, here to share his beautiful words and music.
Thanks for having me back. Thank you.
Always glad to have you. So we will see you both back here in a moment, and we're going to start with our Come Celebrate song here.
Come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, one by one, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Come celebrate, join in a circle, come celebrate, side by side, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, yes, celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, heart open wide, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. We are one. We are one.
So as we celebrate together, we also celebrate and invoke the four directions. And if you're physically able to turn and face the four directions, we invite you to do so. We invoke, O Great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You are inside and all around me. And we'll do that once for each of the four directions as we turn and face the directions. And then we'll sing it a fifth time for that divine within each one of us. So won't you join us as we begin by turning to the east, to the direction of the rising sun, to the new beginnings, to the infinite possibilities everywhere.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
And then we turn to the south, to the direction of the noonday sun, to the land of abundance and well-being.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
And now we turn to the west, to opening to the direction of the setting sun, of the letting go of the past, of the releasing into the mystery of what comes next.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
And then we face into the north, into the direction of midnight, into the darkness, into the challenges that are everywhere present, that are calling us to stand firm in this present moment.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
Now we turn within. We turn to the realm of spirit, to the infinite now that is unfolding within us and around us.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
Oh, great spirit, oh, holy wonder, we open ourselves to this moment as we join with all of creation, with the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl, with rocks and trees and grasses, with the seas, the skies, the oceans, the stars, with the universe, with all of life. We affirm our oneness. We affirm we are one. Together, we are one. And once again, we are one. For this opportunity to be together in community, for all the joys and the sorrows, the darkness and the light, for all of it, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Now we welcome back Chris Taylor with one of his beautiful songs.
We are one in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved, 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 loved. One in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved. There's a new law. May it spread around the town. Love one another. Love one another. Abandon yourself to an ever-transcendent grace. An ever-transcendent grace staring at you right in the face. We are one in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved, 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 loved. One in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved. In loving you, you made me lovable. You made me lovable. In loving me, you, in loving me so unconditional. You made me lovable. You made me lovable. We are one in the spirit. Shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved, 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 loved. One in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved. Trade that drumbeat of doom for a song in your heart and a twinkle in your eye. I see that twinkle in your eye. Revolutionary revelation, extraordinary adoration. It's a calling out to you. We are one in the spirit. We shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved, 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 loved. One in the spirit. Shouldn't have to work so hard. Shouldn't have to work so hard to be loved, 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 loved.
Thank you, Chris. Shouldn't have to work so hard. So as we celebrate today, tomorrow, the winter solstice, we realize all of the gifts that come from that, from acknowledging this place we are in current times. And the reading that I have for you today is, it's a little bit revised, but it's from a book, Prayers for a Planetary Pilgrim by Edward Hayes. As nights grow longer, we are mindful that the darkness of greed and hate more lengthens its shadow over our small planet Earth. And yet we also affirm the light and our willingness to bear witness to it. Just as our ancestors feared death, evil, and the dark powers of winter, we find ourselves facing our fears of financial chaos and short-sightedness and discrimination, a fear that our selfishness may doom us and our planet to an eternal winter. May we find hope in the light that we are kindling at this sacred time. Hope in one another. Hope in our Mother Earth. Hope in our sisters and brothers who are working for peace, for justice, truth, and beauty in so many ways and in so many places all across the globe. We affirm that in the heart of every person, we affirm that in the heart of every person on this earth, that there burns the spark of luminous goodness and unlimited possibility. May we, who are gathered together here today, bear witness to the power of the one light, to the power of the one love that binds us all. So now we take a moment as we breathe into that love that binds us all, as we breathe into this physical body that we live in. So we're at a time when we would, if we were together, we might pass bread or connect in some physical way. We take this time to connect in a metaphysical way through our breath, through our oneness, remembering that we literally are breathing the same air. So we'll take 4 long, deep communal breaths together. And we'll, at the sound of the Tibetan bowl, we'll breathe in with the inhale, not just ingesting the air, but fully digesting it with all of our cells, every cell and fiber of our being. And then we'll release on the exhale, letting go of all that is past, allowing us to become more fully present right here in this moment, this very precious moment. So on the sound of the bowl ringing, we'll inhale together 4 times. Truly, we remember we are one. And welcome back again, Chris Taylor, with another song.
Thank you guys so much. Celebrate your laughter. Celebrate your tears. Celebrate your journey through the darkest of your years. Celebrate what's to come, blowing in the winds of change. Celebrate true blessing, dressed up as days so strange. 360 degrees. Praying out loud, down on your knees. The circle of life in times like these. Peace leads to freedom, leads to release. Celebrate when you're stranded, celebrate when you come home. When you're at your loneliness is when you're least alone. Celebrate through chaos, there is a path for you. Travel the road less traveled could lead to your breakthrough. 360 degrees. Praying out loud, down on your knees. The circle of life at times like these. Peace leads to freedom, leads to release. Celebrate the triumphs of your friends and your enemies. For we are all made of love, and love's our destiny. Celebrate frustration, celebrate your soul's despair. They are the keys to your ignition, get you from here to there. 360 degrees. Praying out loud, down on your knees. The circle of life at times like these. Peace leads to freedom, leads to release, release, release. Define yourself as radically loved. This is the truth. All else is an illusion. Define yourself as radically loved. This is the truth. All else is an illusion. All else is an illusion. All else is an illusion.
Thank you again. Powerful songs from Chris Taylor. So, speaking of powerful, I want to bring back our guest speaker, Malii Watts Witten, who has been a long time member of the Baha'i faith and also is a successful entrepreneur and trainer of helping people learn how to function across difficult, diverse complexities in the work world, all across the globe. So I invite you to join me in welcoming her today to the circle. Welcome, Malii.
Hi, good morning. How are you? Is my audio correct? Oh, I think that I think everyone else is on mute while I'm not. If you cannot hear me, please do indicate so in the chat box next to your screen here. I'm really glad to be with you this morning, and thank you for inviting me to the circle. As that said, my name is Malii Watts Witten. I'm based here in San Antonio, and you can just call me Malii. Yeah, I'm going to start with a little bit of a quiz. Thanks for the welcome in the chat pod. So I don't know who all is here, but I see from the chat pod we have Maria, Leslie, Chuck, Dawn, Daniel, Betty, Michelle, whoever else is here, Patty, anyone who is here is welcome to participate. Great. Thank you, Daniel, for your note. Welcome to participate in this quiz. It's just a fun one. And go ahead and put your responses in the chat pod. I'll read them out and respond to each as we go along. Then I'll have a brief PowerPoint presentation that I'll share on my screen and take some questions. I'll keep track of time as well, so that we go about 20 minutes or so. Okay. All right. So here is the first question. First question is this. What's one word you would use to describe the Baha'i faith? What's one word you would use to describe the Baha'i faith? Go ahead and put it in the chat pod. I will read them out anonymously. Okay, so I'll give you like 10 seconds to go ahead and, populate your responses in the chat pod. What is one word you might use to describe the faith? And if you don't know, you can say that as well. Okay, we have responses starting to come in. I'll do a countdown. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, thanks for the audience participation. We have, some more are coming. So someone doesn't know, someone says meditative, someone says progressive revelation. Ooh, fancy. Someone says universal, another person says unknown, another says balance. Intention. I think we have universal again. We have a hey, Patricia. As well. So thanks for those responses. There's no right answer for this one. Progressive revelation is a belief in the Baha'i faith. I will describe that in just a bit on the PowerPoint. And one word that I use to describe the faith is unity. Yeah, so my husband just came in and he said, "What are you doing awake?" Because I was up with our 10-week-old last night into this morning, and I said, "Oh, I have this presentation to do," and he said, "Oh, I'll tell him about it." It's about unity. My husband is not a Baha'i, and I am a Baha'i myself. Love is another word that was used to describe the faith. So really, it's the Baha'i faith is one, and this is part of what I like about it myself. It's one that you make your own. Yeah, your relationship with God is just that, your relationship with God. Yeah, and know that as I'm speaking in this presentation that I'm not representing the Baha'i faith officially in any capacity. I'm not representing the local spiritual assembly here in San Antonio or anything like that. I'm just a regular old Baha'i speaking from my particular perspective. So thanks for your responses on that. And someone says that they have to research the faith. All right, cool. I guess, by the way, there's no anonymity since your names are right by your responses. All right, let's see what else we have. Okay, where was the faith born? In what current country? Where was the Baha'i faith born? Go ahead and populate your answers. I'll give you about 10 seconds again. 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, we have no responses on this one. The Baha'i faith was born in current day Persia or Iran. So the Baha'i faith was born again in what we now know as the country of Iran. Next question. This is a true or false. So write true or false in your chat box here. The Baha'i faith is a combination of all the religions. Baha'i faith is a combination of all the religions. True or false? Go ahead and enter it in the chat pod. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Betty said Middle East, and Patricia can't wait to hear. That was responses for our last question. Thank you for those. Patricia says false. Mark says false. Leslie's not sure. Michelle says true. We have a few more trues. We have, lots more trues here. And often this is a misconception that the Baha'i faith is a combination of all the religions. It is, in fact, not a combination of all the religions, rather. And it has to do with that thing called progressive revelation, right? The reason why people think that, again, I'll come to that in a minute. But the Baha'i faith is an independent world religion. The followers of the faith are called Baha'is. Contrary to my granddaddy, he used to call us Baha'is. The Baha'is approached me once. I used to be a Baha'i. That's what he said to me. So no, it's an independent religion, and that's what you need to know for this quiz. Again, I'll get into a little bit more in a moment. I think it's the last question now, last question of the quiz. So if you haven't participated, go on and get in there. What is the name of the top clergy member of the faith? And you'll get extra points if you can tell us in what kind of vehicle that person travels, right? Like the Pope has the Pope Mobile. So tell us, what is the name of the top clergy member in the Baha'i faith? And for extra bonus shiny star points, what's the name of the vehicle that clergy member travels in? In my mind, I'm singing the Jeopardy song, right? You have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. Darn, don't know, but can't wait to hear. Anyone else have a guess? So in fact, this is a trick question. Sorry, Leslie, no points, but you get love. Baha'i Mobile. That would be correct if there was such a thing. So this was a trick question. There is no clergy in the Baha'i faith. There is no clergy in the Baha'i faith. The idea is that God has spoken, and that word is available in texts, yes, and that there are administrative bodies in the Baha'i faith, but they have no, we are not to idolize those members, right? And we are not to idolize in general. As a matter of fact, Baha'u'llah, who is the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith, is generally not shown in pictures, right? His son, Abdul Baha, is shown in pictures, but to help avoid, as I understand it, to help avoid idolatry, the picture of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith, is generally not shown, right? I saw a picture when I went on pilgrimage, right? In 2010, I went to pilgrimage to Haifa, Israel. This is where the world center of the Baha'i faith is situated. And you have there the Universal House of Justice, which is the supreme body, a supreme administrative body of the Baha'i faith, right? But yeah, in order to avoid idolatry, that picture is not commonly shown. And there is, again, no clergy to the faith, right? All right, thanks for participating. Appreciate that. As you have questions that come in during the presentation, please put them in the chat pod, right? If I can't get to all of them, I'll share my email and we can discuss further. But I will certainly refer you to the local spiritual assembly here in San Antonio to learn more, to learn what groups might be in your area, that kind of thing. Now I'm going to share my screen. So if I go to screen share, I don't see what I'm looking for. Let me try it again. I'm going to put my screen up here in presentation mode and go back to our celebration circle. Let's see. There it is. I have found it. Okay, so you should see now a screen. Yeah. All right. You should see now a screen. And it is on the Baha'i faith. I also have a cheat sheet over here on my right. I have a second screen with notes for my presentation. So if you see me looking over to the side, that's what I'm doing here. So this beautiful image is a real life building. It is in Chicago, just north of Chicago, in a town called Wilmette. This is the Baha'i House of Worship for the North American continent. And there is one Baha'i place of worship per continent. You will see, if you already know, that there is a San Antonio Baha'i Center. This is not the same as this in its glory, right? Maybe one of the reasons for this is that these places of worship are to be built to certain specifications. All of them, for instance, have 9 sides. 9 is considered a complete number in the Baha'i faith, and perhaps in mathematics. There are certain specifications to which the buildings must be made. Also, Baha'is are only taking donations from Baha'is, right? And so we rely on the generosity of our fellow Baha'is to build buildings like this. I think they were just building one. Oh, I forget the country. Anywho, there's one house of worship per continent, and this is the one for the North American continent. If you can go there, I advise a visit. All are welcome anytime, except for now because there's a pandemic. Sorry about that. So, basic teachings of the Baha'i faith. And here's a quote that I'll share with you from Baha'u'llah. Again, I introduced that name a few minutes ago, and Baha'u'llah is the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah said, the fundamental purpose animating the faith of God and his religion is to safeguard the interests and provide the unity of the human race and to foster the spirit of love and fellowship amongst men. Yeah. So you see a lot of love there. You see some unity, fellowship, some of the same words that I've heard already in this circle being reaffirmed. So the basic teachings are these. This is a quick and dirty, right? I advise you to read a book, go online, talk to multiple Baha'is to get wider perspective. This is one of the books that I bought some years ago that I really like. It's called Baha'i Basics by a person named Francis Worthington, and it has topics like who are Baha'is, the purpose of creation, the life of the soul, good and evil, continuing revelation, progressive revelation. What other things? It has items on the figures of the faith, unity and diversity, marriage and divorce, family life, that kind of thing. So pick up a book or, again, speak with multiple people to get a more broad idea. This is a quick and dirty from my perspective, but this is a book that I recommend, as well as there's another one that was just, it's on my other shelf. Anywho, it's called The Baha'i Faith, an Introduction. So oneness of God, humankind, and religion is definitely at the center of the faith, right? The idea is that we all, humans, all share one God. Yeah, no matter what we call that God, no matter if we call the God the universe, yeah, or Allah, or the great being, or whatever else, right? As Baha'is believe, right, we are sharing that one God. That humankind is one, no matter what country we come from or what color we are, that humanity is one, and that we develop together, we mature together. The last one is religion, that religion is one as well, and that has to do with that idea of progressive revelation, which is the concept that God does not leave us, right? That the revelation of God is unveiled over time through the different religions, right? That the spiritual teachings remain the same, that the social teachings, right, will change for each day and age based on the maturity of the people and the time in which that religion might be rolled out to humankind. We also have basic teachings of the Baha'i faith, including independent investigation of truth, right? We are all responsible for seeking the truth of religion, the truth of our faith. And for this reason, there is to be universal literacy so that we can read those teachings for ourselves, whether it be in the Baha'i writings or otherwise. So another one is abandoning prejudice and superstition. There are some texts on that for just here in this country, and some prayers as well for abandoning prejudice and superstition. I'll introduce one of the texts on that to you in a little bit before the end of our presentation. Unity of religion and science, that there is no contradiction, that they work in harmony, as a matter of fact. Equality of men and women. So we have books like, I have lots of books around me. I have my Butsudan here, which a friend gifted me, where I keep my Baha'i and holy books. And I'm looking for something. Here it is. So on the topic of equality of men and women, there's this book called Two Wings of a Bird, The Equality of Women and Men. This is a statement by the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States. It's a good read. And what else do we have for basic teachings? Universal education, very practically speaking, again, like if we are to do independent investigation of truth, then we are to be able to read and to consult with others as well. Economic justice, so abolishing the extremes of poverty and wealth is one of basic Baha'i teachings, as well as the spiritual foundation of society. That yes, we are human society, and also we are spiritual beings. In my interpretation, for this reason, it's not so much that it's important for me as a Baha'i to, proselytize and like grab you and make you a Baha'i as well. But we're all spiritual beings in a spiritual moment, yeah? And so there is a revolution, if you will, that we can be a part of, whether or not we call ourselves Baha'is. It's simply about human spiritual progress. Oh, yes, and an auxiliary international language. Maybe it's English. I don't know. It's not been named, but just a practical way for all the people around the world to communicate. So, progressive revelation, those two special words. Baha'is view the world's major religions as a part of a single progressive process through which God reveals his will to humanity. Baha'u'llah is recognized by Baha'is, including me, as the most recent in a line of divine messengers or manifestations of God, right? So this includes, the manifestations of God include Abraham, Krishna, Moses, Buddha, Zoroaster, Jesus Christ and Muhammad, as well as the Bab, which is a figure of the Baha'i, is a figure within the Baha'i faith. The Bab in Arabic is a word that means the gate. And so if you learn a little bit more about the faith, you'll learn about the twin figures sometimes, as they're referred to, the Bab and Baha'u'llah, that kind of brought the faith forward. The Bab opening the gate, right? Opening the path in history for the coming into his calling of Baha'u'llah. I'll continue here. Key figures and dates. So you see that the Baha'i faith was founded in 1844. Oh my goodness, how can this be? I know that when I first came to the faith, I thought, that's a little bit too recent, right? I learned growing up as a Christian that faith was like old and archaic and unknown. And in the faith, in the Baha'i faith, we do know a lot of things. We have pictures, right? And we have dates, and it's a lot more recent than what I learned growing up that religion could be, right? But in fact, it is true for Baha'is and friends of the faith who believe as well. So we have the Bab, we have Baha'u'llah, which means glory of God. Of course, the Bab and Baha'u'llah were not born with these names. Someone may fact check me, but I think that the name of Baha'u'llah when he was born was Mizra Ali Hussein, or some combination of that. If you know the right combination, please put it in the box. One of the things that I like about this faith is that I'm encouraged to keep learning. And as a matter of fact, I've never known so much about any faith and been encouraged to continue to learn as I have been personally with becoming a Baha'i and learning about the faith, coming fully into my Baha'iness, if you will. My husband would totally make fun of me for saying that. Anywho, the Baha'iness. He calls, by the way, where is the book? Oh, it's on the very bottom here. He calls the most holy book of the Baha'i faith the Bible. It's not the right name. I will share it with you in a moment. So we have some dates that are here. Okay, so here you can see some dates populated for the different key figures. Again, the Baha'i faith being founded in 1844, and a lot of activity happening in the 1800s. The Universal House of Justice, which I mentioned, sits in Haifa, Israel, and was established in 1963. And that's the head administrative body, right? On the very local level, right? So hyper local level. Excuse me. You have the local spiritual assemblies. And as I mentioned before, we have a local spiritual assembly of the Baha'is of San Antonio. We could just call it the LSA. And it sounds like a very glorious name, and it is a body to be respected. I had the privilege of being elected by my community here in San Antonio as a local spiritual assembly member. And I served that role for a year, and then I needed to have more time to take care of my baby and my family. But there are people that serve for years on the local spiritual assembly, and they are asked to do so by their community. There's no running in an election. You were simply nominated. All right, I'll move along here. The Baha'i Administrative Order, and again, there's some overlap here. Hopefully this helps with learning. It includes the Universal House of Justice. On the top of the hierarchy, we have counselors for different things in different regions, like education, for instance. And then we have national and local spiritual assemblies. So there is also a national spiritual assembly of the Baha'is of the U.S. And that's, in fact, who wrote this document, right, that I mentioned earlier, the National Spiritual Assembly. I will continue. Select Baha'i holy text. Here are some. This one I'll mention in a moment. Oh, here are some more. I'll also just show you some of the titles that I have. So this is the People of the Eye, African Americans in the World Order of the Baha'u'llah. So that's a good read that I have not read all the way and would like to. Citadel of the Faith. This is Messages to America, meaning the United States, 1947 to 1957. This is another one. Here's my Holy Bible. There's no contradiction is another thing that I like. There's no contradiction between, being a Baha'i and growing up Christian, right? In my wedding, for instance, I got married just over a year ago, and we had different traditions. So we had some Baha'i elements in the wedding, right? We provided some quotes from different religions and from the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which is one of my favorites. And people that attended the wedding could read one of those. We also had the single practice that makes a Baha'i wedding, which is the recitation of the words, "We all verily abide by the will of God." And so I said that, and my husband said that. We also jumped the broom, which is a U.S. American Black tradition here in the States that dates back to enslavement times. As I mentioned before, my husband is not Baha'i, but he agreed to the Baha'i wedding, and that's also the only way I would have it. So let's see what else in terms of, here's my Bhagavad Gita. So when I have an interfaith celebration, I will put these books out as well, again, because there's no contradiction. This is the consent of parents document that we actually sent around to all of our parents before we got married, because consent before marriage, even as adults, is one of the practices of the faith. And here is the Kitab Yaqtas, which is mentioned first here, what my husband calls the Bible. I had a little post-it there for a while that said the same, but no, in all respect, this is the most holy book of the faith, and it has a lot of practical information. this whole text actually is not the writing. It's there are a lot of questions and answers here. So I think the writing is probably this much of the text, and then these are all like questions and answers and all that jazz. Okay, moving along. Okay, so this is near the end of the presentation here. I'll put these books to the side, and maybe I'll end with a prayer. Thanks for your patience with me here. I hear this is an informal affair, so I'm following suit. So on social change and social justice, there is a text. I just piled it on the bottom of my pile again. There is one text that I wanted to mention called The Advent of Divine Justice, right? And this is not a holy text, right? This is written by Shoghi Effendi, which is the grandson of Abdul Baha, who was the son of Baha'u'llah. And Shoghi Effendi is recognized in the faith as basically being an interpreter of different aspects of the faith, right? Not a holy figure, but respected for his part, for his contribution to the faith. So in this text, you have a lot of different things. Yeah, I learned in this text, for instance, what the United States, the part the United States has to play in social change and social justice for the world. And it's not because the US is so special. I used to wonder, why is it that the United States is mentioned like this, or America? And it's because we have so much of a complicated and unjust history in this country that we might learn from that and be better. There is guidance in here about what Blacks can do and what whites can do, right? Blacks are to suspend suspicion and whites are to grant more patience, right? As we come together to heal ourselves and to learn about race and the way that religion can influence our understanding of ourselves as one, even in the diversity that we hold together. That's another thing that I love about the faith is that there's so much diversity. Yeah, and there's an embracing of that diversity, even if there's not always a know-how of how to do it. We are striving, I believe, and I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and stop sharing this particular screen. I just wanted to give you a taste of that item on social change and social justice. There's much more where that came from. And you can get involved locally in some of the Baha'i activities where there is discussion about race. As a matter of fact, there's a race amity group that meets via Zoom these days. And, conversations on race and religion are very welcome in the faith, yeah? Racial prejudice is called the most vital and challenging issue, according to this book, The Advent of Divine Justice. I first came to Baha'i in 2008. I had been seeking a deeper relationship with God. I was reading my book here, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I was reading the Bible. I was reading Eric Butterworth's Divine Prosperity or something like that. I had a whole pile of books by my bed as I was seeking. And at the time I was working in refugee resettlement and would coordinate an outing for my women, our women's program, and to different places to encourage social interaction, practicing of English, getting out of the house and getting oriented to Chicago, which where I lived at the time. And we went to this place called the Baha'i House of Worship, which I had heard about, but hadn't been to myself, I believe. I signed up. Yeah, let me know about more information as it comes. I received a postcard in the mail a few months later, an invitation to the annual choral festival, which I came to participate in for several years. And I encourage you, Labor Day weekend, maybe next year, to visit Chicago and the House of Worship. There's a beautiful free concert there, a cappella with voices from around the world. People come together and sing holy songs, not just from the Baha'i faith. And it's a beautiful occasion. So I witnessed that and was really drawn to how these people, these 200 voices at that first or second concert that I attended, annual concert, didn't know each other. They had come from all different places, all different countries, even several of them. And they had come together for a weekend to learn these songs together. And then they were singing, and there was just such tangible love amongst them. And that really appealed to me. And I came to learn about the faith after that, with the woman that coordinated the visit of my women, my refugee women, we became friends, and she gifted me this prayer book when I became Baha'i, and that was in 2008. I think I learned about the faith for a year and a half before I declared. And for me, it has been an excitement, a joy, which is something I wouldn't necessarily recognize about myself, like being excited about religion. But there is a depth that I've experienced in my knowing of God and society and myself as a Baha'i that I had not experienced before, and I'm grateful for it. All right, so I'll end with one of the prayers. Maybe I'll sing the healing prayer. Yeah, and I hope it is appropriate for me to share a prayer in this space. If it's not, let me know in the chat pod. Otherwise, I'll look it up here. Looking it up in the back. I should have done this before. Okay. That starts with "Thy name is my healing." Okay, 96. And then if there's time, I'll take some questions. Otherwise, I'll refer you to the local spiritual assembly. Again, this is a prayer from Baha'i faith, and you can call it chanting or you can call it singing. And here it is. This is a prayer by Baha'u'llah. Thy name is my healing. Oh my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Thank you for listening. I am glad to receive some questions, although I know that there is a proper program organized here and I want to respect that. Zet, how would you like to continue?
Thank you so much. It's really wonderful to hear the kind of total picture of, I realized how little I knew of the Baha'i faith. Yeah. I've seen one question that's popped up a couple of times is why Israel is selected for the assembly. And
okay, yeah, I see that. Why Israel in caps? All right.
You want to answer that, and then I will do a short meditation, and then we'll
sure.
have a song.
Really, the most honest response I could give is that I don't know completely. I do know that that Baha'u'llah was exiled in different countries along his journey, if you will, after he declared, and that that exile took him to different places, and that I believe the last place wasn't what we know now as Israel, where he was imprisoned for 40 years, right? And so this is where in Akka, Israel, is where the shrine of Baha'u'llah is located. This is an artist rendering of the shrine of Baha'u'llah. There we go. It's still in the plastic. And this is, again, the shrine of Baha'u'llah, which is in Akka, Israel. We visited there on pilgrimage. This image is by Sabrina Lauer, who is a local artist from New Braunfels. Jackie Clare, her daughter, is also an artist that shares a lot of art in the spirit of the Baha'i faith. But so that's one of the reasons. Israel, as I understand it, accepted that it could be the world center of the Baha'i faith in Haifa, Israel, along Mount Carmel, which is a huge, beautiful mountain where there are 19 gardens cascading down the mountain. It's gorgeous. And that, as I understand it, Israel said, you can make this country your home base, right? But you must have, I think that one of the agreements is that Baha'is must leave the area of Haifa after coming there for pilgrimage, right? So I was specifically told, you come here for pilgrimage, you come one day before, you leave one day after, right? That we are not to just go and live in Haifa on our own. We are to get permission for doing that in respect of the nation of Israel. When I was on my pilgrimage, there were people that were Christians and Jews all going to Israel. Yeah. So that's a little bit of what I know about why Israel, because Baha'u'llah died and this space was imprisoned there before his death. And apparently there were some national negotiations where Israel allowed for the faith to have its headquarters there.
Great.
I hope that responds to your question.
Thank you so much. So we're going to take some time now to just do a short meditation, and we'll see you back in a moment. Thank you, Malii. So at this time, hearing these words and feeling this time of year, this winter solstice, this longest night of the year coming, we take a moment to affirm our faith in the power and the presence of the divine light. The light present even in the face of darkness and challenge. So I invite you to just prepare for a time of reflection on the light, on this unity that we've been hearing about. With eyes open or eyes closed, won't you breathe deeply? Breathe gently, welcoming and focusing on the spot located at the center of your forehead. This vibrating core of who you truly are, and this vibration that you feel through every cell and fiber of your being. You can use your divine imagination to employ your visual sense as you see and feel this light, as you feel and see this peace, this unity, which forms and informs the whole of you and everything which surrounds you. It is the light of the sun that gives light to all on planet Earth. It's the light of the Holy One vibrating through all of creation. It is the divine light of consciousness made manifest in each and every one of us. You are open to the possibilities of a conscious co-creation. Whether you are fully aflame and bursting with this living light, or you're able to feel the tiniest spark, know that all of this is divine. This divine light fills all space and all time. And it is more than enough to light your way forward on this path of light, one day at a time, one small step at a time, one breath at a time. Now. And now. And now. And in the silence of this moment, in the safety and comfort of your space, you're invited to release all judgments, to choose anew, to see the seeming contractions of darkness for what they are, and feel the power of choosing to align yourself with the expansiveness of the eternal light flowing to you and through you as an amazing peace, as a divine presence right here, right now. And feel that you are not alone in this process. There are many others in this circle community, in faith traditions all over the planet, who are sharing with you. We affirm that even as our ancestors feared the dark, as we feel them, the fears of the dark, we find hope in welcoming and embracing the divine light. We find hope in the light we are kindling here today, hope in one another's presence, hope in our songs and our prayers and our silences, hope in our actions, hope in our compassion, hope in this very moment. In a moment that is pregnant with the possibilities of peace and justice and well-being for all. We now affirm that this divine spark is alive and burning in the heart of each and every being on the planet. And we affirm our willingness to see, to feel, to nurture, to support that divine spark within ourselves, each other, and all of creation. And may all beings be blessed as we remember, as we affirm at this time of the winter solstice, let there be light. Let us speak this affirmation out loud to ourselves and to each other 3 times. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light. And so it is. Let there be thanks as well.
In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. 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 In all things give thanks. Give thanks for the gift of life. The one light shines through all of creation, with hands and hearts open wide. We lift our voices in celebration. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. Thanks, thanks. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks.
So we hold our love offerings, our gifts to the celebration circle supporting this work. We hold them, lift them up, and speak the words, I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open. Together, I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open. And so it is. Now we invite Chris Taylor back for another song of his magical words and music.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Humble yourself before your enemy. Talk to him as if you're talking to me. Listen hard before you open your mouth. Love is waiting, baby. That's what I'm talking about. This is what love looks like. Hey, this is what love looks like. Somebody did you wrong. Somebody broke your heart. Now they're stuck in your mind. It's tearing you all apart. Well, you can't undo what's already been done. You got the power of love to shield you from another hit and run. This is what love looks like. This is what love looks like. Getting caught in the rain, time and again, feels like you're sliding down a hole. Your head and your heart collide. Ain't no way you can hide. You don't have to go through this alone. No, no, no. Come on, love. Love is a gift you can open again and again. Love is a gift. Love is a gift you can open again and again. Love is a gift. Love is a gift you can open again and again. Love is a gift. Love is a gift you can open again and again. Looks like. This is what love looks like. This is what love looks like. they do or say. Don't let the devil take another day. No matter where you are, my friend, know in me you can depend. Looks like, oh, this is what love looks like, yeah, 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 yeah. The future is anxiety, the past is depression. Where are your feet? Looks like, oh. The future is anxiety, the past is depression. Where are my feet? Looks like, oh. This is what love looks like. Oh.
Thank you. So, just have a couple of announcements. I want to, first of all, thank everyone for their gifts, supporting the work of the circle, and for all the names and situations in the prayer list that we lift all up into the light, not trying to fix, but holding in our hearts, holding in love. And so it is. A few announcements. Just a reminder to go outside tomorrow night on the winter solstice and be outside and experience that conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter that everyone's calling the Christmas star. It's a unique time. I think it's the first time in 800 years that they've been this close together. So beautiful opportunity to experience that.
1 hour after sunset.
Yeah, in the southwest sky. We saw them last night. They were pretty bright where we are on the south side. But tomorrow night's supposed to be the peak. And then next Sunday, December 27th, is our annual Burning Bowl letter writing ceremony. We're combining into one. So Carl's going to post, and I want to thank Carl again for posting all of our comments on behalf of the circle. But just this ritual that we do of releasing the past, letting go of this year, 2020. I know many of us are ready to do that, but also to the process of writing this letter of intention for the future, for what's to come, and visioning into 2021. So that's next Sunday, and there are some things that you can gather to be a part of that, and they're posted here in the comments. And I think now we're going to sing our Love is the Only Power song together. I'm going to bring our guests back. And we sing Love is the Only Power, Love is the Only Way. You can come in here.
Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Malii. That was just really fabulous.
You're very welcome. I hope that it was helpful and that, I served the purpose as it was intended. I also shared in the host chat some contact information for the San Antonio Local Spiritual Assembly. The email is SA for San Antonio, sabaha'imail@gmail.com.
Okay.
And I shared my email as well for those on the line that would like to learn something else from me. have a question for me in particular. Otherwise, there's a national site, www.bahai.us, BAHAI.us.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. And I'm going to try and figure out how to get that back into the public comments.
Okay. And I can repeat it as you do it. Again, the site is BAHAI.us. My email is MALIIWITTEN@gmail.com. And then there's a San Antonio Baha'i mail. Have you got it up yet, or are you still working?
I'm still working. So.
Okay.
But
To contact the local spiritual assembly, SA. I'm trying to find my hand here. Here we go. SA Baha'i mail at gmail.com. My sign is rusty.
well, when I got that one, I think I got that one, but I didn't get the other one. Well, what's going on here? Okay. Okay. I'll see what we can do about the others.
Okay.
And thank you, Chris. And I hope all goes well with your visit with your daughter.
Yeah. It's going to be a great day. Good day ahead. Bright, sunshiny day, as the song
We
says.
are so lucky to be in San Antonio, where it's going to be in the mid 70s and sunshine. So
That's right.
Cheers
Thank
to
you
that.
so much for having me on. It was great to be a part of it. I appreciate it.
okay, thank you. And we'll see you next time. And I'm going to ask you to repeat that for me, Malii. The your email, if you could do
Sure.
that.
So
MAL.
those who have questions for me in particular regarding the faith, Malii Witten at gmail.com. Malii is MALII. Witten, WITTEN at gmail.com.
Okay, got that one.
And then the more important email is the SA Baha'i mail at gmail.com.
I got that one.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, great.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks.
It's a pleasure.
And hope to see you again soon, and hope we have lots of interested adventurers out in the world to
Yes.
experience.
I hope to join you next week for the Burning Bowl.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, just a reminder to everyone out there that we love you, we bless you, we see the light in you. Go in peace. Thanks. Let's see if we can